All right, crew. Hey, welcome back into the Agency Therapy Podcast. Stoked that you guys are here today. I have my good friend Nick Alia with us today on the podcast. Dude, welcome in.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man, super stoked. Nick and I met, 2-3 years ago through Traffic and Funnels.
Probably 2020.
Was it 2020?
4.5, yeah. 5 years ago.
Traffic and Funnels was my first mastermind ever. So that was my plunge into high ticket, into anything like sales related, sales strategy. I think it was you, Jake Grant, Josh Altop, and I think Corey were the first people that I actually met that were in some sort of high ticket sales. And I think at the time you were setting.
I was setting.
Yep.
Or running the setting team.
And that's where I first knew Nick Alia. Nick Alia was anything setting, you talk to Nick on. The dude is the most savage SDR on the planet. And one of the main topics that I wanted to chat with you on today is one, I want to get a little bit of background first, but talk about the state of the SDR, because I feel it's changed a ton over the past couple of years. I know the stuff that I learned in the Traffic and Funnels days is not what I'm running currently. There's still some core principles that we do, but I feel a lot has changed in the SDR world. But before we jump into that, I want to just give people a brief download. Before, everything I've known about Nick has been SDR, setter. Now it's kind of evolved. You're now leading an entire company. You're CEO of an agency called Win at Sales. There we go. Just completely.
Not lose at sales. Win at sales.
Win at sales. So give us a quick download. There's been this emergence of these management consulting type sales companies. And it seems that's similar to what you guys are doing. But
it's exactly what we're doing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Give us a quick download so our viewership knows.
Well, dude, everybody knows the next natural step of being a salesperson is starting a sales management agency.
Yeah, always.
Dude, it is kind of it's funny. There's a new biz op wave of people taking this angle of, you made $10K a month as a high ticket closer? Make $50K a month as a sales manager.
That's going to be the new Facebook ads that we're going to be
seeing? It literally
is,
dude. There's a couple guys doing it. Some guys that are good at it and they're cool and I get it. But yeah, man, we started David Melman, who also sold at TF back in the day.
Closer to you. And you can pull this anytime, by the way.
David Melman, who started at TF selling back in the day, went and sold for Alaric Heck. Then he was Alaric Heck's sales manager. He left Ad Outreach early 2022. I had left TF by then. He started doing some consulting stuff. I started doing some consulting stuff. We kind of joined forces June 2022, kind of taking accounts on together. He was kind of the face of it, doing the sales and the marketing. I was doing the fulfillment side of it. Initially, we were just competing with Cole Gordon, dude.
Yeah.
With Sales Team Accelerator, his 15 to 20K biz op where he's getting you a setter, getting you a closer, consulting you on how to build a sales team. That was June 22. And then by September, it's funny, I had breakfast with Jake Grant, and Jake and Altop were doing the done for you thing. Yep. They had Brody Kern as a client. They had Ryan Dossie as a client at the time, I think. A couple others. And he was like, dude, we have these guys paying us a 10K retainer or $100K a year on a contract. And I was like, oh, that sounds way better than charging someone $18K for 90 days and being on this hamster wheel of client acquisition. Yep. So September 22, we brought on our first done for you management account where it was retainer, setup fee, and a percentage of the sales. And we've just been doing that since then, man.
Yeah.
So we're 2 years and 4 months into the done for you version of the business.
Yeah.
And we're up to 9 teams. Last year, the teams collectively did just under 23 million.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So I know your position has kind of changed within the company, kind of going from, doing a lot of the fulfillment stuff. Now you're leading and your title is CEO of that company.
Yeah.
What have been kind of the role shifts for you? Are you having to be more of the face now of what you guys are doing? Are you having to take more marketing responsibilities?
Trying to.
Yeah.
I'm still in the fulfillment. Dude, I started as account manager and it was more of a consulting account manager. Then it moved into an actual sales manager side of it. And it's evolved quite a bit. So right now we're running a pod model. Mm-hmm. There's an account manager, a setter coach, and a closer coach. And those 3 people are a management pod. And they are running the teams together. They're like the management team for the clients that we serve.
Okay.
So we have pod 1 and we have pod 2. I was the account manager of pod 1 really up until like August this year. We brought on an account manager for pod 2, built a team around him, grew that too fast, made a lot of mistakes. I tried to be way too hands off with that, didn't QC near enough, wasn't near enough involved in the weeds there. So that pod ended up being like a massive failure. And now I'm the account manager of pod 2 while also being the CEO and the marketing director and the sales director and the operations director and, helping the recruiting director. And we have an onboarding manager who just trains salespeople. So the goal is by the end of this year, I can move more into that like CEO, visionary, strategic direction, face of the company, doing more stuff like this, hopefully speaking at events. But it's hard to get to that point.
What does that path kind of look like? What's getting offloaded from your plate currently? It sounds like a lot of the account management stuff.
Yeah.
But, like what's the stuff that you really enjoy doing currently, and what's the stuff that you're like, hey, like I'm 2025, I'm delegating this away.
Sure. Dude, I still like the account management stuff. Like I like the strategic stuff. What I'm not the best at, ironically, is like the one-to-one development of salespeople.
Yeah.
And that's that's a key function of our business is 100%. Doing that. So like call reviews, role plays, I just lack patience. I lack empathy.
Like, why don't you?
Why don't you already know this? Like, why the fuck did you just say that? And we have people on our team that are better at doing that. But I really think what we need to do, like right now I'm the account manager for 4 teams. And then I have a coach who's doubling up as a setter coach and a closer coach, Jacob Combs, who came from the Cole Gordon world. We need to ramp those accounts and we need to maybe bring in one more account. And then like my goal is either to develop Jacob into account manager. We might bring in an outside account manager if Jacob doesn't want to take on that role, but it's really creating stability in our pod and like stable, consistent revenue of that pod. Yeah. Because I'm also paying our account managers and our coaches just a percentage of the revenue that their teams generate.
Okay. So it's a lot of performance.
They're performance based.
Yeah.
So if they're like Jacob right now, I have him on a base pay. But if I want to pay the right talent that has the right skill set, that wants to work here, that we can also make the job attractive enough, they have to be able to make enough money. And like, I need to reduce the risk for them in terms of that ramp up risk of the accounts. Sure. And that's the mistake we made in pod 2 this year is we brought on 8 accounts in 4 months for them. Yeah. And they were 100% commission only, but that pod as a whole was only making like 40 to 50K a month in revenue. So those guys were only making like 3 to 7 grand a month. Yeah. It's like, dude, you're just not going to get a talented person who actually has the capacity and skill set to run 8 freaking sales teams. Yeah. Well, especially 6K a month.
Especially when they know the sales ecosystem already. Exactly. It's like, hey, like I could be a closer somewhere. And
they have options.
Yeah, they have options. Exactly.
So I need to be able to build this pod up enough in the beginning to get enough stable revenue to make the role attractive enough to get the right person in.
Out of curiosity, like what causes some of that instability? Is it like, just a little bit of churn? Is it, not having the right people in place? Like what have you found in your own diagnosis to like help stabilize those pods a little bit more?
So time is a factor for sure. Like, dude, solving these problems just take time. Like we have one client that we brought on April 23. We're coming on 2 years with them. We just found stride like last June. It took like 15 months. Yeah. To like unpack the problems, get the right people in place, churn through a bunch of setters, churn through a bunch of closers, deal with a bunch of systems and process problems, all that stuff. So like time is a big factor. The second thing is getting the right accounts in. Not everybody needs a sales team. Not everybody's ready for a sales team. And we took on some people this year that we just didn't have sales problems. Yeah. Right? Like when you have a business owner closing 1 out of 50 calls, bro, a closer's not going to fix that. Yeah. Sales management company's not going to fix that. When you have a business owner where their calls cost $800 to get a qualified call to show up, and they're selling an 8K program. It's like, brother, the economics don't just work.
Yeah.
They just don't, right? Like you got to have a 50% close rate, and that's just not sustainable. That's just really not going to happen.
Right.
So it's time, it's the accounts, and then it is just us doing a better job and like having enough bandwidth to do a good job. Bringing on 8 sales teams where you're doing everything for all of those teams, that is too much for a 4-month period.
Yeah. It's hard enough to do it with one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this year, our constraint or our capacity, like constraint that we're going to operate within is 1 new account per month.
Yeah.
That's it.
Fair.
If we get 12 accounts this year and we retain 8 of them, we'll double this year.
Yeah. I mean,
so it's like, I don't need to bring on 1 million different new clients. I need 12 of the right clients.
Right.
And I need to do a good job 67% of the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's a mature scope to look at it through.
Yeah.
You know, I think we look at social media nowadays and a lot of how people have grown in the past. And it's like, you don't understand. A lot of people have gone through like reputation damage that is irreversible because they grew too fast and they churned through so many clients. And it's like, like they did the big numbers. Yeah. But it's like,
how long did that last?
Yeah. How long did that last? Also, we don't even see the profit margins.
Sure.
You know?
Was it worth it? The stress in the heat of it?
Exactly. It's like, I think Taylor's been utilizing this phrase recently, Taylor Welch, grow slow, grow safe, which is so funny because traffic and funnels.
Ironic.
Yeah, was a complete opposite of that. And you know, if Taylor, if you're watching, brother, we love you, man.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like it's really true. Like grow slow, grow safe, and it's like one, it's gonna keep your mind safe and keep you from burning out. Yeah. But also, it's like there's a lot of unrealistic expectations. I mean, you got to look at the stats of business. 90% of businesses, they fail in the first 3 years. Yeah. Most businesses, 99% of business, will never cross $1 million run rate. So it's like, like in the grand scheme of things, like we're doing all right. Yeah. Like it's working out, and you know there are going to be certain offers that have explosive growth, but also, there's something to be said for like saturation of market. And it's like, there's competitive offers out there. It's like, we're great at what we do, but there's a lot of competition. And we know that we're not always going to be the first one shopped. Yeah. So, I think it's just having that level head going into those expectations that makes a ton of the difference.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to talk a little bit more about SDRs because I know like that was your bread and butter. I know you have a much wider scope of knowledge. But I would love to hear from you, man, because like this is something even internally with our team. Like I've been developing our SDR. We have someone that is absolutely firing on all cylinders right now. His name's Colin. Dude, just volume. Like not even like he's very new. He's how old's Colin? 19.
Yeah, I think he's about to turn 20.
He's about to turn 20. He's from Ireland.
Good age for an SDR.
Dude, the dude just works Monday through Saturday, like just on it. Yeah. And so I want to hear from you a little bit though, like what's working in the SDR space currently? You know, there's been a lot of changes. We've adopted some new models as well, but I'm curious from your side, like what's working really well right now to help get an increase of triage calls, book calls on the calendar. What are you guys leaning into?
Dude, the first thing for us always is just like getting a grasp on the baseline of data, which most people don't even have. What is the answer rate if I make 100 dials? How many people are picking up the phone?
Yep.
Out of those pickups, how many of those are going to turn into a quality conversation? Out of those quality conversations, how many are we even offering a set to? And then how many of those sets or offers are being accepted? If you don't even have a grasp on that data for like a solid 60 to 90 day sample size, you just can't solve problems and you don't know what to focus on.
Yeah.
So that's really the first thing. And then the second thing is simple, but it's like call your leads fast, hit them from all angles, and penetrate them deeply. Like literally, like that. It's not
penetrate them deeply.
Yes, balls deep. Go balls deep into them. But like, if you're letting them sit there for 24 hours, your answer rate's gonna suck. If you only call them once, but you don't text them or email them, your reply rate's gonna suck. If you like only call, text, and email them once and not over multiple days, your reply rate's going to suck. And it's all about just contact rate with the leads. And you have to hit them fast. You have to hit them multiple times. You have to hit them for multiple months. It's really not that complicated. Most people don't even do that well.
Yeah.
Right? It's
100%.
like they don't know their data and they call the leads late and they don't call them a lot of times and they only call them. They don't text them and email them too.
Right.
If you just did those two things, you will see major differences. And then the last thing is like you have to be willing to churn through people. How many setters did you burn through to get the guy you have now?
2.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, we got lucky.
You got super lucky.
But I will say we held on to one way too long. So that was a hard part of like,
why?
For me. First time building a sales team, I didn't know what I didn't know at the end of the day. And it's like when you see what is the correct fit and what good performance looks like, you're like, oh, I was doing that wrong the entire time.
Sure.
Right. And it's like, I think I'm a little flexible and I give a lot of grace as well, like to a fault sometimes. So it's like a little leadership on me as well of like holding people to those expectations. But I think a combination of that, we're still trying, like data is really hard, man. Like tracking good data consistently.
Sure.
It's not the easiest thing to do. And so for us, like we had to put a lot of time and effort into our data tracking as well. And then, just like, we went through another setter. We actually brought on 2 setters at the same time. One of them ended up not even coming close to KPI. The other one was like off to the races and just smashing. Yeah. And still is smashing. So it's like he's, kind of like the gold star person that's like, hey, it's got to be to this expectation or this person is off the team now. But right now, we're not doing like a ton of volume as far as like our advertising goes. So it's like one setter can handle the volume that we have. So we're not planning on bringing on a second one currently until we're also figuring some stuff out with our offer as well. So some things are changing there. But to answer your question, why did it take so long? Mostly leadership, but also, unclear data, unclear expectations. I just, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So
for sure. And like, dude, the expectation thing is huge. Again, knowing the data allows you to set the right KPIs based on your lead flow. And then you can actually have a reasonable on-track earnings.
Yep.
So then like, hey, if I'm advertising, like I think if based on this data, if they do this activity, they'll get these results. And if they get these results, I can pay them this much. And if I pay someone this much, is that enough to attract someone who's talented?
Yeah.
Most people don't have clarity on that. No. But like you just got to be willing to kind of churn through people, dude. Yeah. TF, I think we hired 100 people.
Yeah.
In 2 years.
It's not surprising.
And when I left, there was 7 people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. You were talking about like the sequence to go through. We call this like our no response sequence. Ours is 7 days of like, hey, we're going to smash these people for 7 days until they answer, or they kind of just like go to a nurture sequence where it's like email, newsletter. They're just going to get dripped content from us to try and build more trust. I'm curious from your perspective, what are like some of the best practices for the sequences that you're running for your clients right now? Obviously text, email. Are you guys doing anything outside of that?
Not really, dude. Okay. Like, ideally call like twice.
Yeah, double
day
dials.
1, day 2, day 3. And Matt Ryder, I don't know if you know Matt Ryder.
Yeah, I know of him. I know he's a sales dude.
He's deeply penetrated this data for the past like year. And he has a lot more like hardcore data in that. So I recommend following him, and he has a new software with it. We're not using it anywhere yet. We probably will at some point roll it out on a couple accounts and test it. Dude, I don't know. I don't, it's funny. I'm talking about data, but I don't know. Like there's not really like a key magic pill type of deal.
Yeah.
I want to text at least 7 days in a row. I want to dial at least 7 days in a row. After 7 days, the chance of you getting in touch with them, it's super low.
Yeah.
Now there's also different like buckets. It's like, there's no shows. There's applications that didn't book a call. If you have an application funnel that goes to a book call and like there's that drop off, then there's the fresh new opt-ins. There's people who have replied to the text messages and the emails that you're sending. So you got to make sure that like the reps are prioritizing that in the right order.
Yep.
Like they need to be hawking their inbox constantly.
Yeah.
Because if somebody replies to a text message, you stop everything you're doing and you feel that text message.
Right.
If somebody applies but doesn't book a call 10 minutes ago, you call them now.
Right.
That's a higher priority than an opt-in 10 minutes ago. And then the no-shows as well. Like the no-shows are deeper in the funnel than the opt-ins. So the morning, like today, I'm going to call all of yesterday's no-shows before I touch my opt-ins.
Yeah.
You know? But like...
So like you have to have some sort of order of operation.
For sure.
Of like,
you have to have a priority list.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah. We call it like hot lists and things like that, you know?
Most people have like their something vague. I want to have an order of priority and then even sub priorities of that, right? Like, because I have the application no bookings that have not been dialed at all, right? And I want to call all of those first. But then I want to move to maybe my no-shows from yesterday that haven't been called yet. Then I want to move to my opt-ins. And then I want to go back up to my app no bookings that have already been dialed once, right? And I kind of want to cycle through that list.
Interesting. Okay.
As they're older. And ideally, you have that set up in your CRM. And it's like, should be a numbered list where the setters don't have to think. It's like, call this list first.
Yep.
When there's no leads on this list, you go to list 2.
Yep.
There's no leads on this list, you go to list 3. And then you cycle them through, and it's like they go as deep into the list as possible. And then tomorrow
until
they
they get a
list
response. And then it's priority number 1 is like, hey, we get that response, we're right back with them, and we take the conversation A to Z as far as we possibly can.
They should be refreshing their inbox all day.
Yeah.
And that's the hard thing with like being a setter is like, dude, you have to multitask.
Yeah.
You have to have like multiple screens. You need to be dialing and texting and emailing and loading up the next call and loading up the next text message and keeping an eye on your inbox.
Yep.
Most people just don't have like the brain power or focus and intention and to do that.
Yeah.
They really don't.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, it takes a lot of like intentionality with what you're doing at the time. So I totally understand that. Yeah. Something fun that we've been doing, utilizing LinkedIn a little bit more for DMs. So we'll try.
That's good for you guys for sure. For your avatar.
Yeah, it's awesome for us. Agency owners live on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And we've been utilizing it because you plug their email in, you'll find their profile.
Sure.
So it's like, they opt into something. We can't reach them SMS or email. Well, we'll just hit them up on LinkedIn as well.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's good.
we try, SDRs will use our profiles for that. We're trying to build their profiles up so it seems a little less spammy. So it's like, try to get them, 3,000-4,000 followers on there. That way it doesn't seem as if they're just, trying to close deals or trying to hawk deals down.
Sure.
But yeah, they'll reach out via our profiles. It's been something that's been pretty effective for us.
So they're working through your personal profile?
Through my personal profile, which my personal profile, it's like my whole profile is run by my EA and my setter pretty much. It's like they're just finding stuff. And then we do a decent amount of outbound on there.
So you have 2 people in your LinkedIn profile? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. One to help manage comments. And so pretty much anyone that comments on any of my stuff, my EA goes in there and replies back to them just for the engagement side.
That's good.
Yeah.
We have a client who sells to accountants. Mm-hmm. And we should probably just have an SOP of new lead.
Yeah.
You look them up.
Yep.
Connection message, and then do you try to follow up with them again, or if they don't connect, you just kind of let them go?
So we send blank connection requests, no message.
Really?
Response rate on blank connection requests are 80% higher than if you send a message.
Wow.
Yeah. So just send a blank connection request and then follow up because you don't have to use LinkedIn Navigator for it. You don't have to send an in-mail if you're connected with them. Sure. And you can send a day 25 connection requests. So it's you can filter in LinkedIn by your certain avatar that you're looking for. Yeah. You can make 25 connection requests a day with your ideal avatar. And so for anyone that connects with us, we just send them a free training. We send them something to drive value, or we'll send them a post or something to help just introduce ourselves to them. And then we follow up with them, start to build a little bit of a relationship. And then if they end up booking a call, then, obviously we already have them connected. And it's kind of what TF was doing in the Facebook days. It's a lot of group messaging. You can do group messaging through LinkedIn. So it's we're starting to utilize the group messaging feature to connect our setter and our closer together and be able to make those connections off of platform. The other thing that we're utilizing is, have you ever heard of SendBlue?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah. The iMessage. Yeah. So we installed that recently. This is a week old, so I don't have a ton of data on this yet. But something that we notice is like Alex Hormozzi's team is all messaging from iPhones. When we signed up for their acquisition workshop, everything was from iPhones. Now they're doing theirs just from the thumbs. SendBlue is an integrated app. We use Go High Level for our CRM. And it integrates directly into Go High Level, and so you can send Blue text messages, iMessages through Go High Level now.
I'd be curious if that works. We've tested it.
Have you?
We haven't tested SendBlue. We've tested the iPhone thing. Hasn't made a difference.
Really?
Tangibly, but obviously Hormozzi talks about it.
He did, yeah.
Cole talks about it. I know Hormozzi's team practices it because I've been in their funnel. I know people that have been in their funnel.
Yep.
I'm curious if it's going to work with you.
Yeah, I'm curious too. We're going to try it out for a little bit just to see if we can get a little better response rates.
Sure.
I think for us, also putting like some of our automation sequences in it for like, reminders for calls. Like I want to see what happens to our show rate or, see how many calls are canceled or no showed or things like that. So I'm curious to see what happens. I'll report back on data and see if we see a little uptick. So we're integrating it all right now. So it's a little bit of an uplift, but
we have one guy who just installed like a closebot, chatbot, Go High Level integration, and they've integrated SendBlue into that somehow as well. So I haven't looked at the data. Yeah, it's probably been running for a month. I should probably look at it.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to integrate. It's just like it's just a different message in the automation that's sent. So it's really easy to integrate. It's just if you have a ton of we have a ton of pre-set up automations already. So we have to go back in and just change everything. It's like a small tag you have to add before the message sends to send out the iMessage. So
got it.
Just some things that we're testing on our side. But I think LinkedIn is one of the most underutilized platforms when it comes to anything biz dev or even I'm curious to see what happens. This is new for us, Q4, utilizing LinkedIn like on our setting team.
Like October or later into the year?
October, yeah. So we're still developing that playbook.
And the one setter you mentioned, he's doing it?
He's doing it currently. Yep.
So when someone opts in, is he taking their email and searching for them as well on LinkedIn and then connecting with them?
Yep. So
that's huge.
Yeah, text, email. If we don't really hear anything back, then we swing back around to so day 2. So 7-day sequence. Day 2 is LinkedIn.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we try to fish them out of LinkedIn.
Nice. So you're teaching me about SDRs, bro.
Well, dude, I'm trying to crack the code, man. Like I was like, we're trying to grow this year, man. I'm not leaving anything to chance. We'll try anything, Yeah. So cool, dude. Well, any other knowledge on like the SDR side? Because I want to talk a little bit on the closing side as well.
I think with SDRs, if you're not setting clear activity and results expectations and clear communication and admin expectations, like those 4 buckets, you're not training them. You don't have clear KPIs for them in terms of ramping up and where they should be. You're not supporting them. You don't have the systems developed for them to make their jobs easier. You don't know their KPIs and you don't know their data. Like most people don't have that. And then they're like, fucking SDRs, setter, all the setters suck. It's like, well, pal, you're not setting them up for success.
Right. And the second part to that is too, is like they got to have things to send to people. Like,
correct.
Like, dude, you
have no assets.
Yeah, we have so many assets. We've got
You're expecting a setter to take a prospect from unaware to brand aware.
Exactly.
And you want to pay them pennies.
Right.
It's like, that's like 4 levels of awareness that you want a minimum wage person to take your prospects through.
Exactly.
It's insane.
Yeah. So if anything, like if you have a really good resource library, I mean, it's way easier to get someone to get it on a book call. It's like, dude, like just send them something. It's like if they don't really want to talk to you, hey, let me send you a training. 100%. Like, what's the biggest challenge right now? Awesome. Let me send you. I'll follow up in 30 days from now. Yeah. And it's like you just put them on your 30-day list and recycle them back through.
Yeah. So when it comes to like, again, just being patient with setters, make sure you have all the systems for them and the resources for them and the support for them. Then you have to be patient and let like time compound. Because at least when I was a setter, dude, I had thousands of people in my pipeline that I was following up with constantly.
Yep.
Like thousands, literally, where like I would never go hungry, but it took me 90 to 180 days to create that base. And then it just continuously started building. And like, you know, I'd lose people in that pipeline along the way, but I was continuously adding to that follow-up list too. So if you're a setter, one, understand that you're farming. Yeah. Like you are hunting and you're farming. Part of it, love the hunt. If I can outbound call someone, one call set, one call close, sexiest shit in the world. We all want it every time. For sure. It doesn't happen. Yeah. The other time, you might have to plant a seed and water it. Yep. And then come back and check on it and water it again. Yep. And then come back and check on it and prune a little bit. Yep. But at some point, like those seeds will bear fruit, and you have to have the patience for both as a setter and a business owner. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. It has to have some sort of leeway in the timeline, right? 100%. If you're expecting a 30-day turnaround where someone's just like ripping, it's not going to happen. Yes. You know, maybe a couple here and there, but
they can. It happens for sure. But then another factor that comes into play is like, what's the quality of your closing team? Yeah. Are the closers good? Right. Are they divas? Do they need laydowns with credit cards in hand? Right. Right. Like, what does that look like? And then, if you have all of that stuff and those expectations and those KPIs and a good timeline of what looks good, and ideally a North Star like you have and a ramping guide on where do we want them to be after a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. If you have all of that, then you can make clear personnel decisions. And then the only other thing that you need to focus on is like having a deep enough recruiting pipeline so you're not keeping somebody around because you're worried about replacing them. Yeah. Yep. You know? But like those components, if you have that, the churn is always going to happen. You're always going to have people coming and going. You'll get one good person out of 3 to 10 hires, depending on your business. And it just takes time. You gotta be patient with it.
Yeah. Cool. Let's shift over to closing for a second. Yeah. I know we got a little bit left on this podcast here, but I want to be able to talk a little bit on the closing side of things. I feel like the market's changed a little bit. Yeah. People are starting to get used to your typical discovery call of like, you know, you're going through the current state, you're going through their desired state. You're kind of building the gap in between those two spots, talking about, you know, their cost of the current state, and then talking about consequences. Yeah. You know, I feel like that style is never going to really go away, but I think people are looking for, I wouldn't say like a little bit of a softer close, but I feel like they're, you know, like the hard closing, like that TF was like really known for. They were excellent at doing. I feel like
we were great at burning bridges
for sure. Yeah. The best. Like, where do you think a lot of like the closing methodology is going now? Do you feel like it's changing? Do you feel like there's certain things that are working better right now? What are you seeing?
For me personally, and like, I don't know, this is a cheesy word or whatever, just authenticity, man. Just being real with people. And like, honestly, being like anti-sales. Talking about reasons that it won't work. Talking about the risks if you do make this decision. Talk about how there can't be a guarantee here. Talk about all the things that might go wrong. Right? And like not over-promising, especially like over-promising black and white quantifiable results. Yeah. You need to get people bought into the process. Yeah. And you have to stop selling on the results. Because anybody can go out there and be like, hey, I'll help you build a 10K a month agency. Whatever the hell it is, right? Hey, I'll help you do 2 new wholesaling real estate deals per month in the next 90 days. It's like, okay, but like how? Yeah. Because everybody says that. Yeah. So being much more process focused, being just authentic and real with people, and like get out of the fucking tonality, NEPQ, NLP. Like it's all good, right? Like I've learned a ton from Eli Wild and Jeremy Miner, and they're great guys. I just think like, dude, just be real. Yeah. Like if you are not yourself, people are going to feel that. 100%. If you overpromise, people are going to feel that. And if you are trying to sell results, like people just aren't going to buy it. Yeah. So if you could be process focused, you could be authentic, and you can genuinely talk about like, be real about the negatives and the potential downsides of the investment that they're making. Over the long run, you're going to sell better than someone who like hard closes.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. When you say like talking about the negatives, you're talking about like, hey, like this is going to be some blood, sweat, tears that we're
Sure.
gonna have to pour into this.
100%.
Yeah, like stuff like that where it's like, hey, this is hard work. Like
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, like, and most of the teams that we run are like make money online or like biz op type stuff, right? So it's like that they're taking a risk, right? They want the prospect wants big reward, and like everybody's trying to sell it with this guarantee and this no risk, and it's like fundamentally, there is no reward without risk,
right?
So just be real about the risks that they're taking. And people will respect that a lot more.
Yeah. Write that down because we should film an ad around that. Hey, all these gurus guaranteeing you stuff.
I just don't like it, dude. Like,
dude, I'm in the same boat, man.
Yeah.
I've been on this ever since $100 million offers came out. I've been on the bandwagon of like, holy shit, like there's so much good information in here, and all you guys are looking at is the guarantee section.
Yeah.
It's like even in the guarantee section, there's a little segment called the anti-guarantee, and it's like, yeah, like I can guarantee you that if you don't make a change, this doesn't work.
Sure.
You know, it's like you have to make a change in your business, otherwise this isn't going to work. And like I'm not going to guarantee you results.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like that's not something that we do. Yeah. So I think it's spot on, man. I think nowadays people getting away from the guarantee side, people sniff it out. It's burnt if you're running those types of ads.
100%.
You're getting low quality clients as well. With those types of advertisements, the worst. Like those are the people that are looking for the magic bullet, that have no system. They have no actual good fulfillment for their clients. They're just looking for a magic bullet to get clients in their door.
100%.
So,
and dude, most agencies have been burned.
100%.
Anybody who's like a coach has been burned.
It's horrible.
If you're trying to do real estate, you've probably been burned.
Yeah.
If you're buying any sort of biz op thing, you've probably tried Amazon FBA or drop shipping or trading or some other shit.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like there aren't that many like new entrants of buyers, I don't think, into at least the coaching space and the high ticket space.
Yeah.
So they've just heard it all.
Yeah.
You know, and I do still believe that people buy on emotion and they justify with logic. The logical justification, for me at least, has worked best when I talk about the logical downsides and whether or not they can live with that.
Yeah.
And it's like the only decision they're making is like, what is the upside of this investment? What is the % chance of success? What is the downside of this investment? What's the % chance of failure? Can I live with the downside if that happens? And if it's like, if you're willing to take the risk, then you should do it.
And that's the power of people capturing data for like clients. Like we do a couple different things. One, we track all of our clients' data from revenue numbers, profit numbers, like the whole gambit. To make sure that like, we understand the growth of these companies
100%.
and are actually putting data behind our decisions. So one, if you're not collecting data for your clients, that's something you should be doing, because we also bring that up in the sales call. Like, hey, listen, not everyone wins, but I can tell you our top 5 clients last year grew 340%. Now, they're the 1%ers. They're absolute animals. They have a right offer, right place. Now, our average client grows about 40% year over year. Okay. So not bad.
Yeah.
You know, with most agencies probably shutting down over the next couple of years, like growing 40% is not bad. Now, we do have a pool of clients that, hey, they didn't grow over the past year. They have a lot of infrastructure issues. They had a lot of offer issues. They're working through their sales process. Like they have a lot of problems that they're trying to overcome. So it's like there are pools that you can land in, and it could be anywhere between 0 and 300%. But I can tell you, like, our average NPS score is a 9.3 when people work with us. We do quarterly surveys, and our average over the past year has been 9.3. And it's like, those are the types of things I think that will bring people a lot of calmness in their decision to work with you.
100%. Just be real about the downside.
Yeah.
This might not work.
Yeah.
And that's if you can't live with this not working, please do not buy.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yep.
If you trust the process and you feel like it could work and what we've talked about, you could see yourself doing it, and you think it's logical from a database perspective, right? Like, we're going to help you get leads. We're going to help you book sales calls. We're going to help you be better on those sales calls. We're going to pack your, whatever you do, right? Like, have a logical process. And if you trust that process, and if the process doesn't work out, you can live with it. That's all we're talking about.
That's it.
And we try to like oversell and fucking bang people down about, oh no, we're going to guarantee 10K a month by the next 90 days. And it's like, dude, people don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yep. If anything, it puts more doubt in their mind.
For sure.
That it's going to work.
100%.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Real quick. I know you're going to, I'm forcing this on you. Nick's going to put out more content this year. You're going to see it from him, I promise. In one place or another. We'll even give him the clips from this so we can chop it up into short form.
Yeah.
But where can people find you and follow you?
Facebook, just Nick Alia.
Just an old man.
That's literally it, dude.
An old man
on
Facebook.
32-year-old boomer. Man, I'm really just on Facebook.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy because I've been watching Facebook for quite a while, and like I see you on there all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like, you guys get great engagement on your Facebook posts, and it's like Taylor Welch is still on there. And I was like, dude, like you guys should also look at LinkedIn, but it runs very similar to Facebook.
So with LinkedIn, we are doing like direct outreach, but it's just to find sales reps because we're constantly recruiting sales reps.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think
if your goal is to find
channel.
sales rep, 100%.
Yeah.
YouTube channel, very helpful. But
Yeah.
if you're looking for like sales reps and like, especially for any of like the recruiting side, LinkedIn's a great spot. So you might as well start posting content there to widen the net on the recruiting side. I think it would be super helpful for you guys. But
Do you post your own content?
I do. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I post from the thumb. So we have, I'm a systems guy, so we have a pretty robust ClickUp system. Okay. I'll send it to you if you want.
Yeah,
I can templatize it and ship it out to you.
That'd be awesome.
But yeah, I have a content system. We do all of our ideation. It kind of moves through, I don't know, like 5-6 different phases. And essentially, eventually it'll land in like the posting schedule. Okay. And it's like, I'll just go to, it's Tuesday, Wednesday. It's like, what am I posting today? And I'll have all of Wednesday's posts in there. And I'm like, all right, click this one, move it to closed. And then we empty everything into like what we call our recycling bin. I don't create net new content like every single week.
Yeah.
Like I have stuff that I recycle back in because like, dude, like I have posts that flop all the time. So like I'll rewrite the hook,
right,
repost it and see if it does better. Because like, I thought it was a good piece of content. And it's like, and then any of my bangers that I'm like, shit, like that. Like I had a post at the end of 2024 do like 1.3 million impressions on LinkedIn.
Wow.
And I'm like, fuck, I'm saving that one. I'm going to run that back in 6 months,
you
know, and just like try it again.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm a huge proponent of like, like create content, but you don't need net new assets like every single day. Like build a library, recycle some of that stuff that is really good. And it's like, if something flopped, it got like 500 impressions, you're like, all right, well, I didn't do very well. No one saw it anyway. So let me rewrite it, tinker it. Maybe I'll put an image or a carousel with it this time and see if it does better. And it's like 9 times out of 10, you're just refining the stuff that you've already posted.
See, that's my problem. Like, I just don't have a process like that.
Can I give you probably the best course that I took in 2024?
Yeah.
Justin Welsh has a course. It's $100.
I follow him on Twitter.
Yep.
Like him a lot.
Yeah. It's $100. It's his Content OS system. So I built a lot of our ClickUp and Content OS based off of that. I made a few modifications based off of what we do, but Justin Welsh, Content OS.
He's a big LinkedIn guy, isn't he?
Big LinkedIn guy. Big LinkedIn, big Twitter. Very into like written content. But is very much in like solopreneurship. Yeah. And it's like he's a team of one.
Yeah, his like end of 2024 post was like, I did 5 mil this year by myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
it's pretty badass.
Crazy. Crazy.
It's like I took 100 days off or whatever.
Yeah, his Content OS course is one of the best courses. It'll take you 2 hours to get through.
Content OS.
Content OS. Right, yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's super good.
I'll get it.
Highly recommend. I don't recommend courses very often, but that's one that I took and I was like, damn. I was like, this is sick. Very, very good.
Nice.
So that's who I learned a lot of that from.
Okay.
So
I need to do that. Dude, we've grown organically, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you know you do good work, right? Like if you grow organically and you're getting good referrals in.
Straight referrals and word of mouth, and it's like.
But here's where I will like challenge some of that is that, you know, with the business side, this isn't going to be like your only thing.
Yeah.
Right. And so when Nick Alia eventually packs up and moves on to the next thing,
sure,
it'd be nice to have like a personal brand to run alongside of it.
100%.
And like that's, you know, what I'm really focused on. My business partner, he's focused on it as well. Is like, hey, this isn't going to be the only thing we do in business. So it's like we might as well bring our names up and build a following and build people that respect us in the industry. That way, you know, if we ever make a shift or we want to try a new venture, it's going to be easier to spin up because we have a bigger following, we have more reach, we have more influence in the marketplace.
Yeah, you'll get inbound inquiries
exactly
just from positioning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, big personal brand fan in 2025.
You're right. I'm just not disciplined enough to actually do it.
Well, when you're ready, when you're ready, of course. So you guys go follow Nick on Facebook. He does post some pretty funny content on there as well. I always get a giggle whenever Nick posts on there. And then Win at Sales. If you guys are looking for sales management or just want to have a chat around sales, I'm sure Nick would be happy to.
If you're a sales rep, go apply at winatsales.com. If you are a business owner who might want help growing your sales team, either consulting wise or recruiting wise, or having us run your team, dfysales.com.
dfysales.com.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. You guys, thanks for tuning in to Agency Therapy Podcast. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Thanks.